Hey guys, here's where I am on this Woody quadcopter build. I got the ESCs mounted and tie wrapped on both sides. Got all the wiring done and the flight controller bolted down or screwed down. Funny thing about how this worked out, if you can see this on the video, this little flap right here is the, let's see if you can see that right there. That's the 5-volt Pololu step down to power the board, and then the board will power the receiver. And then I have this little one here is another Pololu step down, and this is a 12-volt step down. Interesting thing about this 12-volt step down, this particular one, they may make different ones, and I think they do, but this one requires a minimum, I think, of 14 volts in order to work. So if I want to run this board off of 3S does not supply enough voltage to run this step down. So what I've done, I still intend to be able to run this off of 3 or 4S. I have the, this is the 12 volt lead that's coming out of the 12 volt step down. And that's going to go up to the top plate above it and power the camera and the video transmitter, because my camera is 12 volt. And of course I have my buzzer coming off of the NAS board. And then what I did is I put another lead here, and this lead goes directly to the power distribution board below. So unfortunately what I'm going to have to do, if I run 12 volt, if I run a 3S, then I have to run my camera equipment off of this, which will be coming directly off the battery pack, which will be 12 volt. If I run a 4S, I'll have to run my video equipment off of this lead, which is also going to be 12 volt, but it's stepped down from the 4 cell, which is anywhere between 14 to 16 volts. So that's kind of inconvenient. I think I can get one of these step downs, or even a step down, step up 12 volt regulator to replace that, which would do both, and I would be able to eliminate this lead here. But since this is just an experiment, I figured I'd go ahead and wire it up this way. For the most part, I'll probably be running it off of 4S, which I'll be using this step down 12 volt power supply for the camera equipment. And if that's the case, then I would just tuck this underneath here, and that'll all be underneath the top plate anyhow. So this is how it's come out. I've got the 4 ESCs and the wiring that's going to go on the arms, that's going to go to the legs. I just have them taped up at the moment just to keep them from touching each other when I was powering up this board, so I don't burn up an ESC or something. But at the moment, that's what I got. And I got the top plate, the sides. So the next step is to put the top plate on and the arms, or the legs, or whatever you want to call them, and then mount the motors and start wiring up the motors and zip tying everything in place. And then the final step will be building of the camera mount and the finalization of the FPV equipment. The way I'm going to mount these motors, and I don't have the pieces right here with me to show you, but there's a guy that has Simple Copters, I think is the name of his website, simplecopters.com. I think his name is Matt, and he does a lot of homemade designs, and he actually sells kits as well. But he has a technique using the Sunny Sky motors and the X back plate to zip tie the motors to the arms, and that's how I'm going to be doing mine, exactly like he does it. I actually obviously got that idea from him, so it looks like it'll work well for this situation, and we'll get that all done and strapped down. Today is Friday afternoon, so I'm going to work on this just a little bit and finish it up tomorrow, and maybe get a maiden for you based on weather. I'm going to probably maiden it without the FPV equipment, the camera and the transmitter, and then I'm going to build a camera transmitter mount to go in the center of the top plate with approximately a 20 to 25 degree angle on the camera for forward flight. So thanks for watching the videos again. Hope this is helping you out and giving you some ideas for those of you who like to design and DIY and build your own experimental quads. I'm curious to see how this one's going to work out. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty decent, but we'll see. You never know. That's why I decided not to cut the ESC power wires, because I don't know how it's going to fly. It may be a total flop, and if it is, I don't want those wires an inch long or an inch and a half long. I want to be able to use them on another design. So ultimately, if it does fly well, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and keep this quad or build another quad that's just like it and continue this design, then I'll probably cut those leads down, eliminate a lot of the wire mess that's underneath the not speed controller, but underneath the flight controller. It would eliminate some weight, and it would also make it much cleaner and easier to mount and put together. But for now, they're just kind of all twisted up and coiled up underneath the flight controller above the power distribution board. That way I can keep my ESCs with the standard length wires and potentially use them on another build if for some reason this doesn't work out. So stay tuned. Should have the next video showing the whole thing wrapped up, probably without the camera equipment, and prepare for a maiden. Thanks for watching.